Picture this. The world has just collapsed. No power, no running water, no stores open. You grab your bug-out bag, praying you've prepared well enough to keep yourself and your family alive. You unzip your pack, and there they are, your stash of Mr. E's meals ready to eat. The military staple. The prepper's supposed holy grail. But here's the million-dollar question. Are MREs your best friend when SHTF4? The biggest prepping mistake you'll ever make. Because trust me, not everything about Mr. E's is as perfect as it seems. In this video, I'm going to expose the hidden truths behind Mr. E's, the pros, the cons, and the downright shocking secrets no one's telling you. Stick around, because by the end, you'll know exactly whether Mr. E's deserve a place in your survival plan or belong straight in the trash. So why do so many preppers swear by MREs? Simple. MREs were designed for soldiers in combat zones. They're durable, calorie-dense, require no cooking, and can be eaten cold if necessary. For years, preppers have looked at MREs as the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it survival meal. Toss a few cases in your closet, and you feel ready for anything from a hurricane to World War III. MREs seem perfect on paper. Long shelf life, balanced nutrition, and compact packaging. But the truth is far more complicated. Because while Mr. E's offer undeniable advantages, there are also dark sides that could turn them from your best friend into your worst prepping nightmare. Let me share a story from an ex-soldier I interviewed last year. During his second deployment, he had to live off nothing but Mr. E's for 6 straight weeks. At first it felt convenient, no cooking, no mess. But after week 2, his digestion went completely haywire. Constant bloating, cramping, and other, well, let's just say bathroom issues. By week 4, the taste was driving him crazy. He dreaded opening the same brown plastic pouch every meal. His morale tanked. By the time he came home, he couldn't even look at an MRE without gagging. That's the part many preppers overlook. Mr. E's can save your life, but they can also destroy your gut, your taste buds, and your mental health if you rely on them too heavily. Let's start with the good news. Mr. E's are a prepper's best friend in certain scenarios. First, they're incredibly convenient. No stove? No problem. Mr. E's can be eaten cold right out of the pouch. Many come with flameless heaters that only require a splash of water. In a blackout or bug-out situation, that's huge. You're not fumbling around with fires, stoves, or fuel when you might be on the run or hiding out. For immediate emergency evacuations or first days of chaos, MREs are unbeatable for grab-and-go nutrition. That's why so many preppers keep a few in their vehicles or bug-out bags. When seconds matter, you want food that's ready instantly. Another big win for Mr. E's is their caloric density. The average MRE packs around 1,200 to 1,300 calories. That's impressive for a single meal. Inside one pouch, you'll usually find an entree, side, crackers or bread, dessert, drink mix, and accessories like salt, coffee, and hot sauce. It's designed to provide enough nutrients, fat, carbs, and protein to keep soldiers fueled in intense conditions. Compared to many civilian emergency rations that might give you 200 calories per bar, MREs can help maintain strength during physically demanding times. If you're forced to walk miles or carry heavy gear, those calories matter. In that way, Mr. E's truly shine as a prepper asset. Shelf life is where things get a little murky. Manufacturers typically say MREs last 5 years under normal storage conditions, but that's not the whole story. If stored in cool, stable temperatures, MREs might remain edible for 10 years or more. I've personally seen tests where MREs were still safe to eat after 15 years, though the taste was pretty questionable. But here's the catch. Heat kills MREs fast. A case stored in a 90-degree garage might lose half its shelf life in one summer. That's why shelf life isn't guaranteed. Conditional. Preppers who think Mr. E's will last forever in any closet are setting themselves up for a nasty surprise when disaster hits. One prepper in Texas shared his horror story with me. He'd stockpiled over 200 MREs in his garage, thinking he was set for any crisis. 2 summers later, he opened one to test, and the contents smelled like rancid chemicals. The crackers had turned into dust. The meat entree was dark brown sludge. He lost thousands of dollars in supplies, all because he didn't store them in a cool place. That's the reality. MREs are not indestructible. If you store them wrong, they become a liability, not an asset. Another huge drawback. Taste fatigue. Let's be honest, Mr. E's are not gourmet dining. They're engineered for nutrition and survival, not fine dining. The first one might taste surprisingly decent, but by the 5th or 10th, everything starts tasting the same. Bland, salty, and often heavy on preservatives. The average prepper might tolerate them for a few days, but weeks or months. That's where morale crashes. Psychological health is a survival factor we often underestimate. Eating the same monotonous meals daily can drain your willpower and increase stress. And in a real SHTF situation, mental health is every bit as critical as physical health. Then there's the digestive nightmare. MREs are notorious for binding you up. Soldiers joke about the MRE plug because eating them day after day can cause constipation, bloating, and serious discomfort. High fat, low fiber, lots of sodium. It's a rough combination. If you're bugging out, carrying a pack, and living under stress, the last thing you need is digestive issues that slow you down or leave you in pain. MREs are fine occasionally, but they're not designed to be your only food source long term. That's a critical detail preppers sometimes forget. Next problem, bulk and weight. Mr. E's are hefty. One meal can weigh over a pound. That adds up fast in a bug-out bag or vehicle kit. Compare that to freeze-dried meals that weigh a fraction of that for similar calories. If mobility is a priority, Mr. E's might not be your best option. You'll quickly find your pack overloaded, and in a real emergency, mobility can mean the difference between life and death. That's why some preppers choose lighter alternatives for their primary food supply and keep only a few MREs. For immediate emergencies, let's talk cost. Mr. E's are expensive. Military surplus MREs can cost $10 to $15 each or more. Civilian versions often cost $8 to $12 per meal, sometimes higher. Compare that to freeze-dried meals, bulk grains, or canned goods, and you'll realize MREs are a premium option for short-term emergencies. They're great, but building a 6-month food supply entirely from MREs could bankrupt your prepping budget. Many new preppers make the mistake of buying cases of MREs, thinking they're set for years, without realizing how much cheaper and more flexible other food options can be. Another trap. Buying fake or poorly stored MREs online. eBay and other marketplaces are flooded with MREs of unknown origin. Some are repackaged, old military stock that's been sitting in a warehouse for years. Others are outright fakes. You have no idea how they were stored, whether they were exposed to heat, or if the seals are compromised. If you're going to invest in MREs, buy from reputable suppliers. And even then, test a few every year, because the worst time to discover your food has gone bad is during a real crisis. So if Mr. E's aren't perfect, what's the alternative? Many preppers swear by freeze-dried meals. They're lighter, have a longer shelf life, often 25 years, and come in huge variety. The downside, they require water to rehydrate and often a heat source. Canned goods are another great option. Cheap, familiar, and tasty, but heavy and shorter-lived. Some preppers create DIY MREs by vacuum sealing meals with shelf-stable components, like jerky, nuts, dried fruit, and energy bars, that can be a cheaper, lighter, and sometimes tastier solution. The key is diversity. Don't rely on any single food type for your survival. Here's how. Mr. E's fit smartly into a prepper's plan. Keep a few in your bug-out bag, your car, and your immediate grab-and-go kits. They're perfect for the first 24 to 72 hours of a crisis, when you might not have time or resources to cook, but don't plan on living off them long-term. Instead, build a layered food storage system. Use MREs for rapid deployment, freeze-dried meals for longer-term sustainability, and canned goods for variety. Always rotate your stock, test your meals, and know what you're storing. Are MREs a prepper's best friend or biggest mistake? The truth is, they're both. Used properly, they're an incredible asset. Used blindly, they can become a costly, dangerous liability. The real secret is knowledge. Understanding how to store them, how to rotate them, and when to use them is the difference between having a life-saving tool and a pile of wasted money. MREs are a tool in your prepping toolbox, not the entire solution. Use them wisely, and they absolutely belong in your prepping plan. If you found this video helpful, smash that like button and subscribe for more survival strategies and honest gear reviews. Let me know in the comments, what's the worst or best MRE you've ever tasted? And if you're building your own emergency food plan and want my list of trusted suppliers, check the description below. Stay safe, stay prepared, and don't ever stop learning.